Hi everyone, thank you for watching the replay, thank you for joining me live. This is the full Virgo Worm Moon at 23:40 Australian Eastern Daylight Time, and it is now 22:22 Australian Eastern Daylight Time right now as I am recording this. And then we're going to see Saturn ingress Pisces for the first time and the only time. Hey Ange, thank you for joining. We're not going to be seeing Saturn retrograde back into Aquarius. This is it now. As soon as it crosses that threshold at 00:35 Australian Eastern Daylight Time on the 8th, so tonight at 12:35 midnight, 12:35, that is when we begin the next 3 years of Saturn in Pisces, and there's no going back from here. So what has the 29th degree of, hey Anna, thank you for joining. What has the 29th degree of Aquarius been gifting you these last couple of weeks? I'm just adding some people. If you are interested in what Saturn is bringing for you as well, I have a masterclass that is on 50% off at the moment, which is in the link in my stories. I'm doing 50% off just for the next 24 hours. I also have spaces available in my calendar via request for this week. My calendar is open for next week though. So if you are jumping on, just say hello and let me know where you're coming in from and how you've been feeling, and we'll get into it. I'm going to channel some messages off the charts for you guys, as I normally do, because this moon has, like, I haven't looked at the chart until just pulling them up, and I haven't even looked at it properly. All right, I can tell you straight away, this full Virgo moon has just felt like a lot of it's at the 16 degrees and 40-minute mark, so it's like that inner teenagey angst feeling. And when I looked at the chart, I pulled up 2 different charts so that I could have the fixed moons included, and I noticed that we have it in direct opposition to 16 degrees, which is the sun, of course. However, Nezus, the asteroid Nezus, is at 16 degrees of Pisces at the moment as well. So we have the sun on top of Nezus, in direct opposition to this full moon, and we're seeing like massive quincunx action, 150 degrees over to Jupiter and Chiron, Chiron and Venus as well. That's 13, 14 and 18 degrees, all in Aries, right? So this quincunx energy is that thorn in the side. It's like, how do we, it's like an exacerbation on our self-worth wounds just being highlighted for all to see, because the sextile or the stellium action there in Aries of Jupiter, Chiron and Venus is all in the 5th house, and in quincunx to the moon in Virgo in the 10th house. So what are you being asked to leave behind with Saturn approaching, like merely 2 hours, pretty much 2 hours and 15 or 2 hours and 9 minutes away from Saturn entering Pisces? Yeah, and then also, mind you, stepping into its pre-shadow retrograde, because Saturn will retrograde 7 degrees each period. So as soon as it crosses that 0-degree threshold, we're never seeing it step back into Aquarius. So going forward from tonight onward, it's like, how are you going to show up new for yourself? And I mean new as in putting the correct foot forward for yourself, because the moon is also squaring over to Mars at 21 degrees of Gemini, now direct as well. Yeah, so how are you, and it's in the 7th, so to the 10th, that's square. So I want to say, how are you cock blocking your blessings by what you know you need to be putting out there? You know, how are you, they're just giving me the phrase now, how are you stopping your own divine flow of creating what it is that you want to create, putting out there in your life, whether it be on the day-to-day in your workplace for some of you, for others of you it's going to be within your family. How are you learning to show up more for your family and your loved ones surrounding the home, you know, and that father-mother dynamic, the masculine-feminine dynamic with Saturn moving into Pisces, right? So this full Virgo moon as well. Like, I was thinking about it today, like, because I'm a Virgo. My sun's at 22 degrees and my Venus is at 9 degrees. So this is kind of at that midpoint for me, this moon. Anyways, that's beside the point. I was feeling into it, and I meant to Google it for you all to see, like, what does a worm moon mean? What does a full worm moon mean? And I didn't look it up. I meant to, but I was sidetracked by a bunch of other stuff today. So I was feeling into it, and I'm like, well, a worm, you think about a worm and the life of a worm. It's in the darkness. It's blind. It's just using its like innate base instincts to move through the soil. And it has no eyes. So we are in complete, you've got to use this moon as like we are in complete sensory deprivation. And it's really funny because my friend posted how he went into a sensory deprivation tank a couple of days ago, and I just saw it last night. Yeah? So I was like, okay, this is cool. So thinking of a Virgo worm moon, right? How can we feel our way more so, like dropping out of the mind and coming into the energy body, the soma, the physical meat suit, and reading the frequencies of the energy? How can we feel our way to the new beginning, or to the areas in which that we need to lean into a little bit more, to release that little bit more, for us to be open to what this Saturn in Pisces transit is going to be gifting us the opportunities with over the next 3 years. Now, I highly recommend, if you haven't already purchased a copy of the Saturn Masterclass, thank you for those who have. If you haven't already purchased a copy of the Saturn Masterclass replay, I highly recommend it. It's 3.5 hours long video, but it's also a 50+ page PDF that I put together for everybody, so that you can see how Saturn is going to affect you through whichever house it's in. Even though it's in Pisces, I've gone through the entire zodiac for the houses, for the signs, and for transits through each, because each are different. Okay, so there's a link in the stories for that right now. That's going to be on sale for 50% off for the next 24 hours, so I highly recommend you jump on that. Now, going back to this chart and Zeus, all right, the sun is conjunct Zeus at 16 degrees in opposition to this moon, right? And also we've got to keep in mind that we are seeing Neptune edging further and further into that final decan. It's almost at 25 degrees now of Pisces. Yes, so this is why this energy in the opposition to the sun conjunct Zeus, okay, this is why it's felt like we've been gaslighting ourselves. Not only is that quincunx of the moon quincunxing Jupiter, Chiron and Venus, so exacerbating our self-worth issues based on what we look like and how, you know, how we're aging and what our body looks like, you know, like you got to remember Chiron in Aries can lead to a lot of body dysmorphia for people, especially those with natal Chiron in Aries, okay, or natal Chiron in the first house even. Will relate to body dysmorphia. So the fact that we've got a stellium action between Jupiter, which is the expansion and the highlighting and the ultra illumination of whichever it touches, right, which is that Chiron wound, and then we have Venus on the other side of that, still in a close enough action to be a stellium. This is like amplifying the value that we place on our meat suits, and the value that we place on what it is that we express, or what it's not even about expression more so, it's about more so about how we present in the world. Like, what does the meat suit, the package look like without getting our soul, our heart or our wisdom involved? Like, it's us judging ourselves on our packaging, you know? So this is going to be amplified. It's probably going to make a lot of people feel very, very hermit-like, very, very insular, wanting to go very, very within and not be around anybody, and which is very much akin to the worm moon. Okay, so we're in the darkness, we're in the nutrients of the earth, and we are nurturing ourselves and cultivating that safety within ourselves, right? Because we're a worm, if you want to look at it that way right now, you know. And as I said, I didn't Google what the worm moon means in paganism or Druidism or where Celtic tradition, so you might want to do that when we jump off the live, and see what comes up through a Google search for you of like what little tidbits spirit wants you to hear, you know. So What I want to say is, though, this Zeus asteroid, this is the abuser planet, okay? We've had this in Pisces for a number of years already, and we had Neptune on it and Jupiter on it a lot of the times when a lot of the shit was going down from 2021 through to 2022, you know, about what was going on in the 3D, across the globe. We had Neptune and Jupiter action on Zeus when some of the biggest bullshit was revealed, or some of the biggest bullshit was tried to be pulled over our eyes, you know, and veiled and hidden from us. So Zeus is the abuser, and he tricked Hercules, or Zeus's wife, into poisoning Zeus because Zeus was unfaithful. And Zeus gave the wife of Zeus a handkerchief with his blood on it, and said that, you know, you can put this in his clothing, and while he goes away to celebrate, he'll be faithful to you. Well, she didn't know any better and put that in his clothing, and then found out later, before it was far too late, that that was actually going to poison and kill him. So Zeus is gaslighting, abuses, rape, fucking all the nasty stuff, right? And we've got that conjunct the sun right now in Pisces, which is directly opposite our moon. So what I want to say is, don't gaslight yourself, go easy on yourself, especially because this is hitting off on the 4th and the 10th house axis, so the Cancerian Capricornian energy, and then amplified with the Neptunian energy. Like, it's felt like since Pisces season, as it often does, it feels very much like Wizard of Oz poppy field scene where the snow starts coming down and they all start getting sleepy and they just want to go off into land of Nod, you know. It feels very dreamlike, and not to mention this Saturn at 29 and Pluto at 29, we can feel the timelines sort of dissolving and collapsing entirely and coming back onto themselves, and we're like, we know we're finishing up cycles, we know we're completing out cycles, so how and what does that mean for me? And it's about that feeling into it, to feel what it means for you individually, because it's going to be all hitting off on your own charts, unique to you. And to be quite frank, this is why I haven't been posting a lot of the astrology lately, is because it is such a potent time. I want everybody to tune into themselves and not worry about what the external is saying that you should be feeling or what's going to be happening and occurring. You create your own reality, you know? So each time I've gone to post something about astrology, I'm like, I feel like I'm forcing it out right now. And I really don't like being in that energy. Sorry, I've just got something pop up on my screen. I really don't like being in that energy where I feel like I'm forcing a channel to come through, or I'm forcing a post to come out just because I know I should. You know, that's bullshit. That's not the way I work and not the way I operate. Because that energy, to me, I can feel that when it's not in a pristine flow for people. I can feel when it's like their channel is sort of like needing a rest, and you can feel that tension in their posts. Well, I can feel that in my own energy, so why would I want to try and create from that space? And just the same as, like, I feel like I'm sharing that because I feel like somebody needs to hear that right now, is that you don't need to force stuff to happen in your life. You just need to step back and release control. Yeah? Release control and allow it to flow. You just keep working in alignment to you and what you want to do, right? What your heart wants to do. Because otherwise, you're going to be forcing something to come through, which will be from the mental realms, which will be the mind. And we know that to think is ego. Not that there's anything wrong with ego. However, we want to be in Pisces season. We want to be very, very clear with between our minds and our hearts that they're in alignment, right? And one's not getting lost away in fantasy land of all of the things that could happen. Yeah, and we're grounding down through our third eyes, our crown, our third eye, our throat and our heart, and our higher heart. And we're grounding it down through our heart of what we want to create, because it feels like it lights us up. Yeah, because with Saturn coming into Pisces in, like, you know, less than, it's exactly 2 hours now, Saturn will be moving into Pisces. Okay, this is the culmination. Yeah, to put the masterclass that I did in a nutshell for you. The Saturn in Pisces is the finalization. So what you didn't get in Saturn in Capricorn and Saturn in Aquarius, right? This is cleanup time in Saturn in Pisces. Now it can be very, very brutal, or it can be very, very dreamy, and it really depends on which house it's coming to sit in and transit for you through this next 3 years. So yeah, that sale's on for 50% off for the next 24 hours. From, I think it's going to be until like 6 p.m. or something, I think is when I said it. So yeah, jump in there and grab it while you can, because it's going to be a one-off. I don't feel like I'm going to be doing any more sales on that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to speak on is this energy as well, now that we're coming into Saturn in Pisces, especially not just with this full Virgo moon, but just a mini astro vibe update on the side, is that I want you to be super discerning with reading frequencies. Now, I've been speaking about this for over 2 years now. You know, you've got to learn how to trust your truth spot. You've got to learn how to discern the truth beyond what's shown to you, beyond what's written down in front of you. You've got to read the energy of people's agendas behind their actions, behind their words, right? Behind what you're seeing. And now if 2020 and 2021 was not an exercise in this for you whatsoever, you need to catch up. Okay, so discernment with Saturn and Pisces has to be on point, all right? Especially as, not until next year, but when we see Saturn coming into conjunct Zeus, yeah, this is like a forecast for 2024, all right? When we see Saturn come into conjunct Zeus, and probably I'm feeling like it my retrograde over that. I'll just double check my notes. Retrogrades. Okay, so I think in 2024 it is going to retrograde over that 16-degree mark. I don't have the masterclass notes here. I've only got the retrograde notes for all of the retrogrades for 2023 in front of me. So I will have to look at an ephemeris. However, I just wanted to jump on and just say hi and let you all know what I'm doing. So full moons are going to be done on Instagram or Facebook. I wanted to get both of them done up together, but this moon has drained me, to be quite honest with you. The last 3 days I've seen 4 or 5 a.m. again. Even after playing golf, I had a nap, and then I was still up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And so yeah, I'm getting my body repaired from and recovered from the day out in the sun and the exercise as well, because I haven't walked that far in a very long time. So I wanted to touch base and let you know. So the new moons are going to be ceremony style on Zoom. Okay. My calendars are open. If there's a date that you want to get in earlier than the next available, you have to DM me. However, please do not ask me to do, I've been getting DMs asking me to do times earlier than what I have on my calendar. That's not happening, because I block out the calendar the way I have done because of my sleep schedule, and I'm a night owl, and it saves rescheduling, which I still have to do on occasion anyway because of my sleep patterns. So also I've dropped out Fridays for the next few weeks because I'm doing grief and trauma leadership program with Abby Kneep, which has been really lovely. We've done our first week and our first module, and we just had the second module drop. So much healing is coming through, and I really can't wait to begin incorporating this into my sessions with all of you. So my one-on-one sessions are available. If you want 50% off, or if you want a payment plan, please DM me, okay? There's a lot changing in my sphere at the moment with regards to Alchemy with Amanda, but also with regards to my personal branding, because there is a new project, a new business coming through that I am meant to start. So I'm splitting myself right now between Alchemy with Amanda and the astrology, and doing that when it feels in alignment, like tonight. You know, it was, 1 o'clock this afternoon, And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go live tonight because it kind of feels like it's a good idea to do it. And then I went and had coffee and I was doing my work for my other project and making notes and study and all that sort of thing for that. And then it was like, oh, I've got the Saturn Masterclass. I should put a 50% off for that. So I did that while I was having coffee, you know what I mean? And then I've come back, I've had some dinner, and now I'm doing the live for you guys, but I want it to be in flow like this so that it's nice and easy. Hey Maria, lovely of you to join. Yeah, so other things that I'm doing at the moment, at the end of the month, okay, there is a free workshop with me. I don't know how many of these, hey Mars, how many of these I'm going to be doing this year. All I know is that March is the first one, and it's 4 days in a row free with me for reawakening your purpose. It's a divine activation portal that I've been channeled to create and guide you through to get in touch with your hearts again, get you back on your path, so to speak, and have an action plan going forward into the new zodiac year, okay? Maria says you're looking happy and beautiful. Thank you so much, Maria. I'm filling my cup every single day with all the different things, and I do feel amazing. So thank you so much for saying that. Mwah. It's lovely to have you here. The other thing that I have coming up in April, which I haven't done anything regarding promotions of yet, is that on the April 23rd, there is going to be an in-person event with me in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. So please jump onto my website and subscribe, because I'll be sending out an email to everybody in the next week, within the next week, of all the details of that, so that you can come and see me live. We can have hugs, we can talk. There's going to be a conscious evening, conscious conversation evening, and it's going to be really beautiful. And I'm really honored to say that I'm holding it at Mindful AF in Emerald in Monbulk. So I really hope that you will be able to join me there. The other things that I've got coming up are working with me one-on-one in a more intensive capacity. So it's one-on-one every day, or it's one-on-one once every week in package variety. There's also high ticket offerings coming out that will be sporadically delivered throughout the months. And there'll be 1 or 2 places available for those legacy offers, is what I've called them at the moment. I don't know if that name is going to change. However, those are high ticket offers where that money can be put as a tax write-off towards your business. And 50% of the fee is going towards creating my new project that I've got in the works for everybody, which is just a little side note, I guess, or a little taster. This new project of mine is working towards free and affordable healings, coaching and services for people on a scholarship basis. So I am I'm calling in an angel investor. I'm calling in investment funds for myself to create the lucrative income that I'm going to be required to facilitate and hold this for everybody. But I'm really so excited that it's coming through, and I've been urged to get it happening this year. So the legacy offers will be 50% of the fee will go toward that, to create all the business admin and everything like that I need to have it started. And then the other 50% is being split between me and a charity. So like to keep Alchemy with Amanda running, to keep food in my belly, to keep my bills paid, and also for further study and development for myself. But also I'll be delivering, I'm feeling 10% of the remaining 50% will go towards a charity of my choosing, because I have been researching some charities that throughout Australia that I feel I would want to donate to. You know what I mean? Like if I had $1 million, like who would I donate to? And what sort of causes do I want to donate to? And what sort of funding and things like that do I want to offer people? You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at. So Alchemy with Amanda is changing somewhat, and Amanda, myself, my rebranding of myself, personal rebranding, is coming through in a more entrepreneurial manner. So if you want to follow my journey for what I'll be creating with my foundation, you can please follow me over on my other account, which is Amanda L for Louise Darch. And you can also join me on LinkedIn, because I'm going to be starting to promote and post over there of what I'll be creating more of, to get to connect with people who are in that echelon and that field of industry. Okay, so Alchemy with Amanda is staying. I am staying. I'm just only posting when it feels really necessary for you guys. And you know, you've got a bunch of light workers, creatives out there who are delivering content to you 24/7, who I know are supporting you. Please be discerning, don't get sucked in. Sarah Ashley Astrology just made this amazing video probably 2 or 3 days ago that I've just seen like this afternoon. Don't get sucked into cults, because there are a lot of false light workers out there who are influencers. They've got massive followings, but they're preaching all this division. Yeah. One thing that she touched on, which I've heard a lot of myself, is about walking away from people in your sphere who are not in alignment, right? And this is creating division, but this is also, it's sort of, what did she say? It was it's basic psychology 101. It's a triangulation technique that narcissists do and that cult leaders do to people. They triangulate. So triangulation is where they put a block between you and family members, or you and best friends, or you and lovers. You know, your family may do this with your lover, or your best friend may do this with your lover, or your lover may do this to your best friend. They triangulate you to get you alone, so that you are relying on them. And I have seen it for the last 18 months across very big names who, I'm not going to name names. Yeah, I'm not going to name names because they're out there doing it every day. However, at the same time, some of the stuff they're preaching is dangerous. So with Saturn coming into Pisces, as I mentioned earlier, this is why that discernment and your truth spot needs to be on point, okay? So I'm feeling, I'll pull a card. Yes, we'll pull a card. We'll pull some tarot, and very quickly. And to wrap up, we'll read 16 degrees. And I'm feeling like, I don't know if we're going to read 16 degrees of, we'll read 16 degrees of Virgo for the moon. Yeah. We have to read 16 degrees of Pisces, I'm being told, another time for Jesus. Pardon me. So if you have any questions, either those of you on the live with me, thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out. Or if you've come across the replay and you have any questions, please let me know. 15, 16 Virgo. And I'm just going to have some water so that I'm not all in the video. So 16 Virgos marked. Now we'll get my cards. All right, so there's been a lot of other things that I wanted to touch on as well, that I've wanted to jump on and do like little lives about. And I did do one about the time feeling, like it's just like warped. It's a vortex. It's so strange. There's something coming through about that right now, and it feels like we're having a do-over. Maria says that she's a Virgo. Yay, me too. I'm the 16th of September. So I'm a 22 degree Virgo sun in a Leo moon, and I am a Cancer rising. Yeah. So let's do some cards for this Virgo full moon. Satora, lovely of you to join. Long time no see. Mwah. All right, full Virgo moon. The one thing that I do want to say as well, just lastly, on this full Virgo moon, Maria says she's the 31st of August. Oh, amazing. So you're early. You're 9 degrees. You're on my Venus if you're a 9 degree sun. The 31st. 8, 9. Yeah, so you're on my Venus. Your sun is on my Venus. All right, so the Three of Swords just came out, and I was just going to say the last thing that I wanted to say about this Virgo full moon was about shadow stuff. Yeah, like what is it bringing, and the Two of Pentacles as well. So what is it bringing up for you? Yeah, it's not just the full moon, it's the culmination of this Saturn about to enter Pisces in less than 2 hours now. All right, an hour and a half, and it's going to be in Pisces. So try to split try and split the visualization for yourself when you're asking, what do I need to know for this Virgo full moon? And then ask yourself, what do I need to know about Saturn in Pisces for me? Like for me, I've had Saturn in my 8th house because my 8th house is, has a little bit of Aquarius in it. The last decan of Aquarius is in Pisces, in the 8th house for me. And then the rest of that 8th house is Pisces. So I've already experienced Saturn in my 8th for like the last 2-3 months or whatever, however long, right? For me though, I'm going to be switching into Piscean mutable water from fixed air energy. Okay, now for you guys, what house is it entering into? Is it entering into a clean, brand new house for you being in Pisces? You know, because I use Placidus, I don't use whole sign, right? So check that out as well, all right? Queen of Cups, beautiful. But yes, going back to the heart of the matter, they're just saying with that 3 of Swords, and now we have the Queen of Cups coming out as well. And I'm just looking at the chart to see if I'm missing any very strong angles here. We got Saturn in trine to Saturn at that 29. It's in semi-sextile, of course, to Pluto. But then we've got Mars coming up onto 22 degrees of Gemini. So yeah, Aries, yeah, it was in trine. So Saturn's in trine to Mars, and then Mars is in square to the full moon. So what are you trying to push through? And is it in alignment, or are you, like, I think I said this earlier, it's about forcing stuff. Yeah, no more forcing anything. Yeah, just breathe and relax. And I know I'm super high energy right now, but that's because I had a couple of lattes today, and I haven't been drinking coffee every day, and it's a full moon, so I am super high energy. But lately, and I've been intentionally, I'm not going to look at these cards just now, but lately I've been really intentionally being aware of my nervous system. Yeah, like, how does my energy body feel? Am I relaxed? Am I tense? Am I breathing, like, am I breathing properly? Or am I like shallow breathing? Or am I barely breathing at all? Is my posture like this most days? Like, you know, what sort of mode does my body want to operate in by default, with like, and unconsciously? Like, pay attention to that, because, you know, those tingles that you get in your base and your sacral, that is like bringing clearing awareness through your body, especially when we're always ruminating and thinking. Okay, so the awarenesses coming through will help you shift the energy in your chakras. However, at the same time, hey Fran, nice of you to join. At the same time, please be aware that, you know, the way in which it's beyond your vagus nerve, okay? And it's beyond just the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. Hey Maddie, thank you so much for joining. You guys are jumping on, and it's like the astrology portion's over, and now I'm channeling and I'm just like speaking about what's been coming through. So and the cards, I've pulled cards, tarot as well. So you got to pay attention to what your autonomic nervous system is, like your central nervous system is doing, okay? Because that branches out into your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems. But then it's also, your parasympathetic nervous system is made up of different parts of the nervous system as well. And then your vagus nerve is a part of that parasympathetic nervous system. Does that make sense? And your vagus nerve, like, is one of the largest nerves, cranial nerve, that runs through your face. That's why it's like really good to do face massage. And like, if you massage into these points around your hairline and into your cheeks, behind your ears, okay, that's really good for relaxation if you're stressed and you're overthinking a lot. Yeah, you can see my white hair coming through. Look at it. I'm gonna be white haired witch. It's gonna be amazing. Anyways, yeah, pay attention to your nervous system, pay attention to your breathing. And also something that I noticed for myself, yes, I love bread. You're inviting your friends, Maria says. Oh, thank you so much, Maria. Another thing that has been coming through for me, which I feel is very important to mention, this whole ascension stuff, right? You know, oh, we're ascending. It's the ascension flu. It's the, Fran says, I just started watching you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I suffer from very bad anxiety. I feel you, honey. I used to as well, and I still do in peaks and troughs depending on my astrology. So if you haven't had your astrology chart done, please jump in my DMs. I give everybody 50% off of their first session with me. And also I have the Saturn Masterclass up that's 50% off as well. So if you already know your chart, I highly recommend you buy the Saturn Masterclass. That's on sale at the moment because it's a over 50 page PDF. And that speaks to mental health placements in the chart and difficult aspects that we're traversing, okay? So it'll help you understand your Saturn, your Mercury, your Moon, Sun as well, but in conjunction to and how they relate to Saturn. Because Saturn isn't just bones, teeth, hair, skin, and nails. It is our mental health, yeah? Okay, we'll have a look. I was born in July 4th. So you're late degrees Cancer, correct, Sun? You're a late degrees Cancer Sun. That's okay. So going back to this ascension, yeah, and this whole be careful of who you're following, discernment wise. Sorry, my pants it's very uncomfortable in the meat suit right now, which is something I've been saying. Thank you so much, Maria. Maria just said Amanda is amazing. That's why I invited you. Thank you so much, ladies, sisters. It's lovely to have you here. So something that that's been calling to me to bring up with everybody who follows me and just in general, okay, is the whole ascension thing and the solar flares and the Schumann resonance. Like I feel it all as well, yeah? I can feel the moon transiting signs down to minutes of a degree. I can feel Mercury shifting signs minutes of a degree, okay? My vessel, my meat suit is very, very sensitive in a beautiful, mystical way, and I wouldn't have it any other way. However, for people who are unaware, yes, they're going to tie all the things down to spiritual ascension. Now, first things first, you want to be aiming higher than 5D, yes, 9D and above. I've been saying this for 3 years now, 9D and above, okay? We want to be aiming higher than 5D. And also not to mention the fact that not every single flu, not every single body ache and all that sort of stuff is a spiritual ascension symptoms. Please use your discernment. Hey, Emma Pippi Kate. Hi, nice of you to join. Not everything is a spiritual ascension symptom. And furthermore to that, when we are raising our frequency, yeah, raising our frequency of consciousness, we're going to a different plane of consciousness. We're not going to a different planet or a different fucking dimension or like physical dimension, physical location, okay? It's a frequency and it's a plane of consciousness, if you know anything about the Kabbalion. Sarah, I just mentioned you earlier. Mwah, mwah. Everybody who's not following Sarah Ashley_astrology, please go and check out her reel about the cults that I mentioned earlier. So we're not going to a different planet. This is the Earth. There is no new Earth. I'm really sorry to disappoint you. We are on this planet that we're not going fucking anywhere. Our frequency of consciousness is what is raising. Yeah? Now, when you are practicing things, hey, when you are practicing things such as breath work, meditation, even just like conscious breathing, it doesn't have to be breath work per se. Conscious breathing, meditation, yoga, Pilates, you know, when you are studying philosophical things, you are raising and, you know, dropping into your heart, you are raising your frequency of consciousness. Now, in doing so, yes, you are drawing more light down into your body. This is why you will feel like you don't want to eat meat anymore. This is why you will feel, I want to fast. I only want to do fruit. I only want to do water. You know, for me, I know when my body needs meat or needs heavy, dense vegetables such as like sweet potato or, you know, sometimes even like red cabbage is something that's really easy to integrate into your meals for grounding. However, I ate, my father, he will go shooting every now and then, and he'll go hunting. And my father is a very ethical hunter. He will go and hunt deer, or he will go and hunt wild goats or wild pigs. He's a type of hunter who can go away for 6 days and not even shoot his rifle. You know, my dad's a shaman through and through. So my dad has some venison. Fran says she's going to have a look at my page now, and thanks for the live. We'll definitely message you after looking at your post. Beautiful. You're so welcome, Fran. So my father, hey Slavika, oh my goodness, Augie, thank you, Louis, nice of you to join. My father has some venison in the freezer, yeah, so because he will store it and he'll vacuum seal it and everything. And anyway, so when I do eat meat, I will have venison. So it's free range, it's organic, it's fucking high vibrational because it's come off the land, and it's being killed in an ethical way because I know what my father is like when he goes hunting, right? The animal would have been shot with one shot, clean kill shot, that's it. You know, and it would have been, the meat would have been harvested correctly, handled correctly. You know, there's no icky shit in it. So I had some venison 3 nights in a row because my body wanted it. Yeah. And so, you know, I don't judge people who, and I highly recommend that we all stop judging one another in the community, especially when it comes to activating our gifts and activating our third eye. You know, like I smoked cigarettes and drank coffee for a large number of my years through my awakening, mind you. You know, I ascended in quantum leaps and bounds whilst drinking coffee every day, like 2 or 3 coffees every day, and smoking 20+ cigarettes a day at the beginning. I was meditating 3 or 4 hours a day, and my diet was clean as AF because I've always eaten cleanly throughout my whole life. Yeah. So what I want you to understand is the power of your vessel. You are the alchemist. Everything that you put in your body, once you reach a certain level of vibration, you can eat chocolate chip cookies and ice cream, and it is not going to affect your channel. It is not going to bring you negative fucking juju and all this other bullshit that I'm really sick and tired of hearing from the spiritual community. The pragmatic, dogmatic bullshit is what is dividing a lot of people, and is what is causing a lot of people to be codependent on following certain people on social medias. Hey Rick, lovely of you to join. Sarah just says 100. Thank you so much, babe. I know you agree with this, right? Like, it's where the spiritual community has become the new church. And it's like, you know, I'm sorry, but don't even get me started on the whole, you know, God-fearing and all of that, because, like, I believe in God Source Creator. But to me, God Source Creator isn't just a being. Slavika says, love you, Amanda, for voicing the truth. Thank you, sister. Mwah. And Sarah says, I ate junk food yesterday because my moon is coming and I have no regrets. LOL. Exactly. Exactly right. And that's the thing, like, when you've been on this journey long enough, our frequencies are at a certain level. You can't dip back down again. We all know we can't put ourselves back to sleep. Once our consciousness has been expanded to a certain level, there's just no way in hell, I don't care how much fucking refined sugar you want to put in your body, how much alcohol, you will not be able to put yourself back to sleep. Rick says, read the book of 40 Days of Purpose. That sounds very interesting. Can you please drop the author? So I want you to know that your vessel, right, is an alchemical lab in and of itself. And Maria says, I just gorged on chocolate. Yeah, see, that's fine. Like, I have chocolate chip cookies when I get my moon. Hey, Tiger Moth, lovely of you to join, bro. Long time no see. So I want you to, you know, if we're here to be human, we're here to have that human experience, right? Now, eating, when you're at a certain level of frequency of consciousness, it doesn't matter what you put in your body, because your body automatically transmutes it into the higher frequency of consciousness to where it needs to be. Okay? So, yes, if you're just starting out brand new, and, you know, for some reason, you're only just awakening as of today, right? And you know, you've only just found meditation, and you're just this year starting to meditate and, you know, be conscious and aware and mindful of what you're eating and all this sort of business, you know, fair enough. You will want to detox your body. Yeah, and awakening does that to you. It's like an injection of Neptunian energy that is like, yo, our body is the temple. Let's start treating it as such, right? And so you go through that chapter of your spiritual awakening journey where all you want to do is detox and clean and fast and do all of the beautiful, correct things to reclaim the purity of your vessel. Let's put it that way, right? However, once you've done that for a certain amount of months or years, yes, you can continue to do it, but you're allowed to have an off day, is what I'm trying to say. Because your body automatically knows how to transmute lower density vibrations into higher density vibrations to match the frequency of consciousness that you are already at. Does that make sense? So that's what I really have been feeling a lot of coming through the last couple of weeks, which I have been meaning to share and I haven't, so I might cut that up and put it into a reel or something for everybody. But the full moon astrology is at the very, very beginning of this live. And then I've just pulled some tarot. I shuffled and pulled some tarot. So let's have a look at what we got here. Yeah, the Hermit and the Two of Swords reversed. So from the astrology chart, okay, for those of you who came in late, we were talking about that self-sabotage. Rick says 40 Days of Purpose by Rick Warren. Is that your book, Rick? Are you doing a cheeky, shameless plug on my live? Very cool. I'll check it out. I'll write it down so I don't forget. Where is a thing? Here. Rick Warren. 40 Days of Purpose. If this is a plug and you get sales off here, I want commissions. No, not me, he says. Okay, cool. All right, I'll check it out. All right, so for those of you, let's come back, bring it back. Thank you. Yeah, so for those of you who jumped on live, we'll talk late, sorry. With the astrology chart, the moon is in quincunx to the stellium in areas of Jupiter, Chiron, and Venus, okay? So this is amplifying our self-sabotaging ways and placing our values on what our meat suit looks like. So this is why this moon has been a very hermiting moon to go within and open up. See, the Two of Swords is reversed, so it takes you back to the Ace of Swords. I nearly said the First of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is upright. Whenever a card is reversed, you've got to go back to the card prior. So the Ace of Swords is upright, crystal clarity through the crown. It's also a gift of a brand new beginning and a brand new opening, which is what we were speaking about at the start of this live. So please jump on or rewind if you've scrolled through on the replay and go and watch the start when I was talking about the chart. Because, take a breath. Sorry, I'm in channel mode. Rick has just shared that he's an Aries, and oh crap, I'm turning 46 on the 2nd of April. 46 is just a number, and you're in a 1 year. 4 and 6 is 10, you're in a 1. That's very good. Brand new beginnings all around. So anyways, back to the chart, back to the full worm moon. The other thing that I was speaking about with the worm moon was that it was a very hermiting energy, and we've pulled the Hermit card, so you can't make this shit up. And also the Hermit is the card for Virgo. Swords reversed as well was what we were talking about dropping out of our heads and coming more into our feeling body, because when it's upright, she's crossing her hands over her heart here. See, I'm blinding herself from the truth. So with it reversed, she's releasing that. Yeah, at least you're not a fool. Yes, well, this is true. So Jupiter stellium, Jupiter, Chiron, Venus stellium in quincunx to the full moon is going to have you on amplification mode of where you need fixing, what's not correct, and all this sort of other business that I touched on earlier. So they're very old cards, so just excuse the state of them, but that's the first deck I ever bought. What other messages do we have, please, for this? For the Virgo Worm Moon. Oh, yes, that's right. Sorry. Thank you very much. They were speaking to, hey, Ariel Alchemy, how are you? Air Alchemy, sorry. They were speaking to about the worm moon as well. So, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this live, I didn't Google what a pagan worm moon means or what it means in Druidism or anything like this. I looked at the shamanic aspect for myself symbolically, and symbolically it's like we're navigating in the dark, right? Because the worm, it doesn't have any high ocean star galaxy. It doesn't have any eyes. It's just navigating through the dense darkness of the earth underneath us, right? And it's just like no eyes, just completely sensory. And this is what we need to feel through into this energy. And this is also helping us strengthen our discernment of frequencies, reading frequencies, coming into Saturn, into Pisces, okay? So underlying energies for this moon. Yay, the Sun card. Hey, Corvette, nice to see you. Long time no see. 8 of Wands. Ace of Swords. What was I saying about the Ace of Swords? You can't make this shit up, guys. Page of Wands. The 4 of Cups. The Ace of Pentacles. And the Hanged Man. This is also the card for Pisces. No, Rick, I am in Melbourne. Sorry, I kept reading. Are you in the USA? Hi, Maria's like, I've been so manic. Yeah, that's because of the influx of the sun coming into conjunction with Neptune as well. Yeah. Pardon me. We are at this point in time 12 degrees off Sun conjunct Neptune, right? So that's a bit large. Give it another 3 days when Sun's at 19 degrees of Pisces. And then we're going to start seeing that action of the Sun coming into an applying conjunction with Neptune. And this is going to amplify that mania level, loads of insomnia. For me, personally, my Sun's at 22 Virgo, right? And Neptune's now coming off of that at 24, thank goodness. However, that opposition, if you've got Sun at 20 to 26 degrees of Virgo, Sun, Moon or Rising, you're going to have that Sun conjunct Neptune in opposition. Okay? Now, if you have Sun, Moon, Rising, Saturn or Mercury, okay, in Sagittarius or Gemini, you're going to be seeing that coming to square that aspect. And that's going to be very uncomfortable and very, very unsettling. All right, so please remember to ground your ass. This is when I was eating the venison, was because I had Mercury, Venus in Capricorn squaring over to my Saturn and Mercury in Libra. My Saturn and Mercury are conjunct, and Mercury, Sun, Venus, and everything was retrograding over the square to my Libra stuff. This is what inspired my Saturn Masterclass. Yeah, is because of the mental health aspects that our astrology can highlight for us and amplify for us if we're not mindful. So it's 50% off as well for those of you who jumped on late. 50% off of the Saturn Masterclass for the next 24 hours only. There's a heavy focus on mental health in there, and I highly recommend that you check it out because it also goes into Saturn in Pisces and what we're going to be experiencing over the next 3 years, including a channel divination message from me for you guys. So it's a 52-page PDF and a 3.5 hour long video, and you get it for 50% off for the next 24 hours. So the link is in the stories for that. All right, now going back to this square energies, so Saggy and Gemini are going to be now in square to the Sun Neptune conjunction, so this is going to be dangerous for those people. Rix is like, gotta go to bed 7 a.m, wake up, need to get sleep as I drive all day. Enjoy. Thanks for joining, Rick. Good to have you here, and thank you for the book. All right, so underlying energies is the Sun and the 8 of Wands, which is instant manifestation to me because this is Merlin energy. This is the wands, the love arrows. This is travel over water as well, which we know which will be kind of restricted. Again, a little bit for some people, but also I feel more than anything, it's giving us a permission slip for freedom is what they're telling me. And now it's very, very clear with Saturn coming into Pisces. Many of you have learned your lessons in Saturn in Aquarius, and now you're moving forward. You're very, very clear on which way you want to go, and you're focusing on the brand new beginnings that you can create. Yes, Saturn is in the final zodiac sign of the final zodiac sign, and it's at that completion point. Good night. And at the same time, though, for many of you, you're coming out of your Saturn return, yeah, from Saturn in Aquarius. For those of you, you are beginning your Saturn return, okay? For those of you who have Saturn in Pisces, so for those of you who are born in the mid to late 60s, and those of you who are born in 1990 to 1994, this is Saturn in Pisces energy, okay? Now, I just want to check that because that's just off the top of my head, and I did the masterclass in January, so I might not be 100% correct on those dates. I think it's this one. Yeah, 1964 to 1967. Yeah, so mid to late. And then 1993 to 1996. Sorry, not 1990. They'll also be in 66 and in 95. There will be a brief reprieve where Saturn had retrograded into Aries and then come back into Pisces on a retrograde. So it'll really depend on when your birthday is, especially if you were born in 67 and 96. It'll depend on when you're born as to whether Saturn was in Pisces or Aries, okay? So just letting you know that. Cool. Because that's at the tail end of each of the 3 years transits. So those years had Saturn returns. Corvette Sun. Yes. Yes, because those are Saturn in Pisces years. Okay? Yeah. If you have a look at the link in my stories, you can check out the Saturn Masterclass replay. It's 3.5 hours, Corvette, and it's got a PDF there that goes through all of the zodiac signs and what it means to transit through the zodiac signs, as well as through the houses, as well as like transits through those, not just natally held in those houses. Does that make sense? So you'll understand your own Saturn placement. Sweet. Thank you so much for the 100. Yeah, cool. So back to these underlying energies, this brand new beginning that we can all see coming through. This is the trusting energy, and I feel why it's really vital right now to discard the noise and be discerning on what you're consuming outwardly. You know, like even watching this video, you know, this live, question everything I'm saying. And where does it ring true for you? And where does it, I want it to be like piquing your interest into exploration, into your own levels of consciousness and into your own levels of discovery of what this full moon means to you, of what Saturn in Pisces means to you. Yeah? Of what do you feel about the energies based on what I've said or anybody else is telling you that's happening. Yeah? This is why I haven't been posting a lot. Because there's enough out there, enough noise out there of what's going on and why and where it's coming from and blah, 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 blah. There's enough fucking noise. And I don't want to be a part of the noise. I actually want to be helpful. And while I feel superfluous, I'm not going to be contributing to the noise. So the last underlying energies for this full worm moon in Virgo is the 4 of Cups followed by the Ace of Pentacles. Now, this is fucking brilliant energy. And do you want to know why? It's because this energy tells me you don't want for a fucking thing. You are so contented and happy with everything you've got. You're bringing in way, way more because you're just like, you're so happy with everything that you have in front of you. That level of self-mastery of practicing how gracious you are, practicing gratitude is just amplifying and building that prosperity into something brand new for you coming in. And yes, it's going to be a difficult, challenging time as we adjust to Saturn in Pisces, okay? There's going to be more gaslighting. I went into this in the masterclass in the divination message. You know, like we're looking at the years that the Vietnam War was going on, but we're also looking at the years where, you know, the free love movement and the psychedelic movement, which we're seeing already. We're seeing a resurgence of that 60s energy where, you know, there are a lot more psychologists and psychiatrists and counselors speaking about psychedelics and therapy. You know, it's a lot more mainstream. It's becoming mainstream now to use ketamine and psilocybin and other fungi and other psychedelics like ketamine to help you with an acid, LSD even, DMT, things like this to help you with psychosis, to help you with schizophrenia and anxiety and depression and things like this, you know. So that's the beautiful side of Saturn entering Pisces again, is now we're 30 years advanced, right? 60 years advanced on the 60s. We're 60 years advanced now technologically, right? And also of research and study, of paperwork, and of what the actual studies and researches, sorry, that's what I meant by paperwork, was research papers that have been done on the mycelium network and what the fungi have to offer us, right? For medicinal purposes, along with the other plant medicines and the other animal kingdom medicines that we use in shamanism. So I feel that is the really beautiful. I'm just getting chills right now. So there's going to be a lot of medical reforms taking place, right? This is just coming through now. The other side of it is that we did see the Vietnam War. The center of the Vietnam War was really taking place. Like this is when Australia was called in and asked to be a part of the Vietnam War. I think from memory we fought on the south. We were on the side of the south, and you know, this is very, very akin to what's kind of happened with this Ukraine business blow up, and, you know, and what's unfolding right now. Okay. This is going to be that resurgence energy of that, but with a 21st century facade, like I've been saying since 2020 and 2020 and 2021. Okay. You know, this is the same shit we saw back then, but it's just got a different face on it because of the technological advances and the societal, cultural advances that we have at this day and age, right? So, for all of us personally, this full moon in Virgo, right, it's allowing you to see everything that you already have and everything you've already created, right? And allowing you to amplify that using your intention and your focus. Yes, a full moon is for releasing, right? We know that. However, this is for the next moon phase, okay? So remember that. What we are releasing, we're creating space to allow more in, yeah? Quantumly. It's just the way it works. So I feel for everybody, it is really beautiful. At the moment, it's tough. It's hard. It feels like, am I going crazy? We're really walking that shaman's line, you know, one foot in the non-ordinary, the other foot in the ordinary realms. And another foot in the metaphysical realm of possibility and quantum realm of possibility. And we're like, okay, so which one do I want to align with that is the safest for me to align with right now so that I don't lose my mind, because I want to be grounded. You need to ground down your quote unquote ascension. Yeah. Your raised frequency of consciousness needs to have a grounding point. Otherwise, you're just off with the fucking fairies and nothing gets manifested if you don't ground. Yeah? So that's what this is telling me. Come back to the ground. It's the worm moon as well. So come back into the darkness, into the void of the earth, into Mother Gaia, and have her nurture you and feed you her sustenance and her love. Okay? And reattune to that frequency. Yeah? So the last thing that we want to touch on as well, is just the 90s as well, with the resurgence, of course, with the resurgence of and return of Saturn in Pisces, now happening in just over 1 hour. This will bring back the 90s, so please be wary. I want to say really up. For those of you who aren't practicing abstinence or celibacy or semen retention and things like this, if you're being sexually active, I'm all down for promiscuity. That's fine, free love and all that. However, please be conscious and mindful of one, who you are sleeping with, because of not just the karmic implications and the wounds and the shadow work and everything that you are agreeing to take on when you partake in that, but please use protection. Now more than ever, because of what has occurred over the last 3 years, we are going to be seeing a resurgence of what we saw as an epidemic in the 90s in the homosexuality community, all right? HIV, AIDS, please be careful with whom you are going to be sleeping with. That's what they're telling me to tell you all now, all right? So, going back to the underlying energies, Sun, Eight of Wands, instant manifestation. Some of you need to call on Merlin energy because he's been loitering around you. Merlin has been a synchronicity for some of you, but you're not quite catching on that it's actually him. But that's your confirmation. For others of you, this Ace of Swords and this Page of Wands is telling you that you have the right direction to move forward. That's me. I just got to kick up the butt then. Metaphysically. They just like put their foot up my butt. This is like, you know exactly what you're doing, so quit fucking around and just do the plan. Like, put it down, make it happen, and just trust. And for the Four of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles, this is that amplification of just how gracious you are. Knowing and trusting in God, Source, Creator, Wankantanka, knowing that, oh, it's a bug, sorry. Knowing that you are loved and you are supported and that you have everything at your disposal. Yeah, you have everything you've ever asked for. Whether you are aware that you asked for it or not is what I'm being reminded to tell some of you right now. So, practicing that gratitude and knowing that you have everything that you need in order to create what it is that you want, the lens needs to be tilted ever so slightly for some of you. Yeah? So, I feel to leave it there. Now, we'll wrap up with 16 degrees of Virgo from the book. So, I really hope that reading served. Please drop in the comments if it did. And the Hanged Man is the last card. So there's that macro observation of being gracious, right? Of looking at your reality from a different viewpoint. I was speaking about the lens being tilted a different angle. Yeah? So it's just a perspective shift. You need to look, that needs to shift in order to realize, yeah? And some things you had to let go of. I just saw a flash of the Five of Cups underneath that. So some of them is, you know, you got to let go of some really sad shit. And me personally, like, I'm doing a grief and trauma leadership program right now. Yeah, so I'm diving into my shadows at the same time as working on all of the projects. Yeah, that I was mentioning at the very beginning. Yeah, with Alchemy with Amanda and my new project, and also my personal rebranding of Amanda. Yeah, like, it's a lot happening. And so, yeah, you need a perspective shift right now and to realize what's a priority to let go of, especially with the Five of Cups. There's a lot of acceptance needed with this energy that I'm feeling. Okay? Deep acceptance. Yeah? It happened for a reason, is what I'm being told. And we all know that everything does happen for a reason, but sometimes we forget that because of the situation that unfolded. Yeah? So, all right. Pardon me, I need some more water. I'm really shattered that the Wi-Fi didn't play my music for very much longer. Excuse me. It does feel a bit stale sometimes when there's no background noise and it's just me speaking. It feels very clinical. All right, so I do really hope that you enjoyed it. Just some grounding oil. This one is cinnamon, orange, and clove. So for some of you though, you might want to burn some incense for this moon, or sage, or rosemary, or even Palo Santo, just to come back into your body so that you can sleep tonight. Air Alchemy says, grateful to you, love. Thank you for the beautiful message. Blessings for your evening. You too. So, the 16 degrees of Virgo. Let's have a look to see what this one is. Okay, so for those of you who are new, this is Inside Degrees by Elias Lonsdale. So one of my most favorite books. Little backstory, which is really cute, is that Elias and his wife wrote this book together. And they created little prose, I guess it would be the best thing to call it, a piece of prose for every degree of zodiac, and it is using the Chandra symbols. Yeah, so the Virgo 16 is a jar of camphor crystals. The mind profoundly divided between the supremely constructive and upbuilding and the radically destructive and fragmenting. The intention is to gather the best, to do the right thing, to be exemplary. But somewhere along the line, this energy runs out, and there slips in its shadow which runs wild, creating your own troubles, cleaning up after yourself, being at the mercy of a fatal dualism that splits you terribly. The plight and dilemma of one who has wandered into the territory of tempting forces, consciously blameless and innocuous, subconsciously charged with mischief and mayhem. And the hardest part is that it feels too late to turn this around, as you experience the fatalistic notion that this is just the way it is. You have arrived at the center of the temptation and must learn the art of radical letting go. Fuck. How potent was that? Of what? Talk about the perfect bow on what we've been speaking of for the last hour and a bit tonight. That is just phenomenal. Thank you. And yes, this very last piece, okay, about the innocuous, consciously blameless and innocuous, subconsciously charged with mischief and mayhem, and the hardest part is that it feels it's too late to turn this around. This here of the 16 degrees Virgo, that hit hardcore, but said, I know, likewise, man, like, fuck. That there is also, to me, the 29 degrees, Saturn at 29 degrees of Aquarius, in a good way. Yeah, likewise. Sort of like that confirmation of, yes, we are on that precipice again. We are about to cross that threshold again. And we are, like, you know, we are making the right moves because we have known that this is a cutting away. This is sort of like, it's sort of like drawing a line in the sand almost, but not like a finalization. It's like, yes, I'm carrying all the lessons forward, but I'm finished that chapter now. And we're about to step into a brand new one. So all of that, the past is the past. It's just got to be let go of. And they're just reminding me of my psilocybin journey a couple of years ago. I had Spider come through at the very beginning of my psilocybin journey. She was my guide for my psilocybin journey. And it was so apt, really, because, you know, the mycelium network in the web of the spider, right? So she showed me in my psilocybin journey, like, all of the past that I needed to let go of was out on a web, and the web was like floating like that, right? But it had the past anchored to it, so it was like straight out. And so all I needed to do was like drop that piece of the web and let it float away. And that's what it looked like behind me while I was in my psilocybin journey. It was just like pieces of web floating like beautifully away from me, and just allowing me to breathe again. And that's what I feel like this letting go needs to be. Not some big dramatic fucking underworld shadow phoenix rising, like I'm fucking crawling out from the underworld, like, you know, goth style, demon style, right? This is more like Persephone rising. This is like, yes, I'm the queen of the fucking underworld and I'm owning this shit, and now I'm rising because it's just so easy for me to do so when it's time. Persephone energy has been coming in for me since about September, October, November. And Persephone is just that perfect. For me, it's a lot more graceful than what Phoenix energy is. Phoenix energy is that destruction, right? Is that Plutonian destruction energy, where we are just being fucking annihilated, and it's grueling and gruesome. And, you know, yes, it does feel like that, right? It fucking feels like that sometimes. It feels like we're being torn inside out, from the inside out. Like, and the amount of energy that we're trying to release from us feels like our sternum may crack wide the fuck open. And we're being scun from the inside out. That's how it feels sometimes when we're shedding old energies. With this Persephone energy that's coming through, it's like, yeah, I can feel all that. But you know what? That's part of the grace that I'm allowing my body to walk through right now. It's not ignoring that my body is going through a massive inner transformation. It's more of a holding space for it, honoring it, and holding it in reverence of, yes, that's how fucking powerful this container is that I can feel like I am smoldering and burning and melting away and turning into dust and coming out even fucking stronger from within. And that to me is Persephone energy. You know, something that was so beautiful was trapped in the underworld, and so she adjusted. She transmuted and adapted and became the queen of the underworld. You know, and every 3 or 4 months she would rise and bring summer back. Every time she would rise and rejoin with her mother, you know? So I feel to leave it there. This has been so amazing to reconnect with every single one of you who jumped on and said hello, thank you, and for all of you who have hung out with me for the last little bit, thank you so much. Please go back and watch the astrology at the start, because I did go into some really important pieces there that, you know, were confirmed later on with the tarot and the channelings, but it would be really cool of you to check it out, and please give me a like and a save and share this with your friends. That would be amazing. Corvette says, thank you, love this. Yeah, I loved having you. Thank you. It was so nice to reconnect with you. It's been ages. So, yeah, so just again, sessions are open. Please jump in my DMs if you want a date. Time, sorry, that's not available on the last ends. Please don't ask me to go earlier than what the first opening time is. I can do later, that's fine. Slavika, thank you for being here, sister. I'm sending you so much love. It's been amazing to reconnect with you as well. Thank you. Saturn Masterclass is on sale, 50% off for the next 24 hours. Free workshop on the 23rd for 4 days called Reawakening Your Purpose. Please check that out as well on my events page. I also have Equinox and New Moon ceremony coming up for free via Zoom meeting as well. So new moons going forward are going to be Zoom ceremonies, okay, away from Instagram. Full moons are going to be here on Instagram. Slavik, I miss you. I miss you too, sister. It's been a long time. I'm sending you so much love and big hugs. Yes, for those of you who haven't had a session with me before, DM me if you wish, and you can receive 50% off your first session. Alchemy with Amanda, Pablo is trying to come in. Alchemy with Amanda is going undergoing some changes. I'm doing a personal rebranding of Amanda, me personally, into a more entrepreneurial space. So if you wish to follow me over on Amanda Alpha Louise Darch, D-A-R-C-H, you can follow my journey there of what I'm studying, what I'm going to be doing for myself personally when it comes to finances and personal development and passive income and affiliate marketing. I want to get involved in affiliate marketing for passive income for myself, to fund Alchemy with Amanda, to fund my new projects, you know. So those are the things that I'm looking at doing so that I don't have to have my prices so high here at Alchemy with Amanda. So yes, I'm trying to do all of the things and spread it out so there's not so much pressure here on everybody. And just one moment, please. Pablo, can you wait a minute, please, honey? Thank you. Un momento. And yeah, so thank you very much for being here and for staying with me, even though I'm not posting 3 or 4 times every day and I'm not upping my stories every day. Please know that I'm thinking of all of you. Please forward this to your friends, and I look forward to being of service however I can with you. The store is also available for distant healings and tarot readings as well, okay? So I think I've mentioned everything. But yeah, jump on my events page for my free events, okay? And paid events are coming up. Masterclass, Venus Masterclass is on the 18th of March, okay? That ticket is available at the moment as well. So please register for that. It'd be amazing to have you join us. There's only 2 or 3 students in the class at the moment. So yeah, it's nice and intimate, and we get to chat later after the session and everything like that as well. I'm pretty sure that's everything. I have a lot going on right now for offerings wise, so I am doing the best to remember all of it. So thank you so much again. Please check out the highlights, the stories for the events, the classes, the sessions. It's all happening. And hey Josephine, and also I have yet to do the draw for February's winner for my competition, monthly competition. Okay, so I feel to leave it there. Thank you again, and I look forward to catching you all again on another live soon. Full moon blessings. Be gentle on you. Bye.